We're going to start today in child's pose. So make your way into that shape. If you don't know what that shape is, your shins are on the floor. You can point your toes or curl them under, optional. Big toes can touch. It doesn't really matter how it looks. It matters more how it feels. Let your knees go quite wide and just set your bottom down against your heels if that's available for you for your knees. And then rest your forehead on something. If it doesn't comfortably land on your mat, then take your hands beneath it like a little pillow. Take a real pillow beneath your forehead if you like. And just take a couple moments here just to chill out, just to relax. So you're going to let your belly drop and soften. If this is hard on your knees or ankles or hips, you can take a pillow between your calves and hamstrings, or you can just lift your hips above your knees. It's all good. And I just want you to take a little time to relax here, right? Feel the shape, feel gravity helping you soften. Let all of your face muscles relax. Let your shoulder muscles relax. So you're not efforting here at all. You're just letting this pose sort of work its magic on you. And you're sort of insular here, right? Your eyes are closed. You're just in your own experience and almost like shutting out the external world. Because this yoga practice is really an opportunity for us to explore what's happening inside, in our minds and our bodies. And that external world, it certainly disturbs us, doesn't it? From time to time. So let it go for now and just feel what's going on internally. Begin to deepen your breath. And if it's possible for all the breath to flow in and out through the nose, I'm going to invite you to do that. Many benefits to nose breathing. We won't get into them now. Long and smooth breaths through the nose. Listen, if anything that I'm saying doesn't work for your body, skip it, change it, make it your own. Right? We're all different. You really want to honor yourself just where you are, right here, right now. Every day is different. Every body is different. And the yoga, it's going to meet you wherever you are. And then just take 2 more long, sweet breaths. See how relaxed you can get as you exhale. There's a softening and a letting go. If you want to rock the forehead side to side along the mat or on your hands, that might feel kind of nice for your neck. And then when you're ready, I want you just to extend your arms forward, okay? And see if you can spread out your fingers, hands about shoulders width apart, lifting the elbows off the floor, and just crawl the fingertips back away from the hip creases a little so you feel the arms lengthen, the sides of the waist lengthen. You can lift the forehead off the floor now. And then with the hands planted right where they are, you're just going to pull your hips up over your knees. Maybe they were already there. You can take the knees a little closer now so they're beneath your hips and not out quite so wide. And we're just going to get a nice little stretch here for the shoulders. So you're going to unplug the right hand from the mat. You're going to thread it underneath the left armpit. Back of the right hand is on the floor now. You're sliding the right shoulder down, down, down away from the ear, and see if you can lay on the back of that right shoulder. The back of the right arm perhaps. And if you want to move the left hand somewhere else, that's fine. And this is a nice release for the right side of the neck. So just give yourself a couple deep breaths here so that on those exhales, you can soften that tension that many of us carry in the shoulder and the neck and the trapezius. So good. And then you'll press into that left hand, which is on the floor, to come back up and take the right hand where it was. And then we'll do the other side. The left arm is going to thread under. You're going to go on the back of the left arm, back of the left hand, slide that left shoulder down, down, down away from the ear, and rest the left ear, maybe the left temple on the mat. You can move the right hand. Feel your breath, feel the shape. What are you noticing? Can you make the breaths a little longer and sweeter so you can just relax a little bit more on those exhales? So good, you guys. We'll press into the right hand to come back up to hands and knees. Good. And then let's take the fingertips to the front of the yoga mat, all the way to the front. Fingertips. Fingers are still spread, and then we're going to just drop the elbows to the floor. And you might want to take the elbows just in front of, but same distance apart as your two shoulders, and forearms parallel here. And then I want you to step your feet all the way back to forearm plank. Now, if this feels like it's too intense for you, no worries. Knees can come right there on the floor at a diagonal. And if your knees are on the floor, you might want to start there. Belly pulls away from the floor. Notice if your head is dropping, face lifts away from the floor. And imagine you could hug your two elbows towards each other so you wake up those shoulders a little bit more. Root into the inner edges of the hands, those index finger knuckles a little more so they don't buckle up. And maybe if the knees were down, you play with lifting them again. Maybe you keep them down. Doesn't matter. What does matter is that you don't do too much or strain or struggle. This is a strength builder. This is a core builder. But you don't want to do too much that your breath can't flow freely. So let the breath help to guide you. And if it's too much, you drop your knees back down and lift them back up. Just play with it. Can you draw the thigh bones away from the floor, the belly away from the floor, and the face away from the floor? Elbows hugging, breath flowing. You got it. We'll take one more breath. We're almost there. And then we'll drop the knees to the floor. Right there at the diagonal, we'll drop the hips to the floor as well. And notice that your elbows are beneath your shoulders, not behind your shoulders. You can release your feet, point your toes, and then gently just pull your heart forward and look forward. Don't look up. Keep the back of the neck long. Let your shoulders cascade down away from your ears. Keep rooting into the inner edges of the hands. And then maybe just look to the right shoulder and then look to the left shoulder. So you're releasing your neck a bit. And then again, just look straight forward. Belly pulls away from the floor now. Even if it's touching the floor, it's okay. Shoulders slide down the back. Root into those inner arms. Curl your toes back under. We're going back to forearm plank. So start by lifting the hips. The belly lifts the hips. Maybe the knees stay down. Maybe you play with lifting just one knee and then the other, or maybe both knees come back up. And same thing. Belly and thighs away from the floor. Face moves away from the floor. Elbows can hug towards each other. Inner edges of the hands root. Find that length from your heels to your head. Feel the sides of the waist engaged. So it's not just you're lifting your belly, but you're also hugging the sides of the waist in. These are our corset muscles. And we'll just take 2 more breaths. Play with it. Try not to get frustrated. I know it's a little challenging. On your next exhale, hips pull up and back. And then inch by inch, walk your feet in a little closer to your elbows. And then just go ahead and pedal out the knees, right? Bend one knee at a time. Maybe sway your hips side to side. Maybe roll the head around. If you want your knees on the floor again, that's fine. We're going to head right back there in a moment. Take a breath, though, to let both heels dip and the thighs pull back. Good. And then both knees back to the floor, child's pose. Okay. Let your hands slide back. You can keep them in front of you, or what might feel nice is to take your hands now behind you. Backs of the hands on the floor. Let your shoulders just soften. You might want to give your body a little sway. Just loosen things up. Let your belly release. Let your face muscles soften again. And take a nice deep breath in. And let it go. Ah. All right, let's take the hands forward. Plant the hands. Crawl the fingertips away from the hips again. Root into the knuckles at the base of each finger. Fingers spread. And then go ahead and pull yourself back up to hands and knees. Okay. Knees are going to come together right beneath your hips. We'll keep the right knee on the floor. We'll take the left toes to the back of the mat. So I like to just kind of rock the heel back and forth a little bit. I think I say that probably every time. My dogs are barking. My feet get a little tired. I do a lot of walking. And then pivot that heel down. Lift your left hand up. Spread your arms apart. Root into the back foot. right? So the outer edge is sealed against the floor. Your head's not dropping. The right ear is lifting away from the floor, and then we're just going to circle around this left arm and just sort of freeing up the shoulder. If you want to turn your head to follow the hand or away from the hand, that might feel kind of nice, loosening up the neck. And then let's reach the left hand forward for just a breath here and lengthen from heel to hand, palm down, and then let the left hand float up, take a breath, and circle it back and to the floor. Okay, take your left knee back to the floor next to the right knee. We'll do the other side, right toes back, rocking on the heel or rocking on the ball of the foot a little bit. Stretch that arch of the foot, the calf muscle, kind of nice. And then you'll pivot the heel down and float the right hand up. Spread through the fingers. So that bottom shoulder, you don't want it hiking up to the ear. Slide it down. Belly pulls in, back foot hugs the floor like it's a suction cup. I probably shouldn't make that strange sound. And then go ahead and circle around your right arm. Again, turning the head away from the hand or following the hand with your eyes. Whatever feels nice for you. Just loosening things up a bit. Checking out what feels right. Noticing. Reach your right hand forward away from that right foot, hugging the floor for just a breath, opening into the right seam of the body. And then float the right hand up. Take a breath. And circle it to the mat. Good. Take your right knee next to your left knee, and then we'll do a couple cat-cows. Heart comes forward as you inhale. Hands kind of pull back toward the knees. Rounding the back as you exhale. Hands kind of press the floor away. And again, inhaling, collarbones widening, and exhaling, rounding. And if you want to circle a little, sway the hips side to side or the head side to side, go for it, right? This is your body. What is it asking for? Right, I'll give lots of suggestions along the way, but if there's something your body's asking for, listen to it. It usually knows what it needs. Let's step both feet back, plank pose. And just about a breath or two here. You can drop the knees, no worries. And just notice the difference when we did it on our elbows to doing it on our hands. So hands can kind of hug together, belly pulls to the spine, and then on your exhale, you're going to go straight to down dog this time. Hips pull back, hands press forward. If you want to pedal the knees again, pedal the knees again. You want to roll the head around, roll the head around. I want to sort of get you guys out of this false idea that you need to be stiff or rigid in any shape. Play with it, right? Feel it out. Let it come to you so you don't force into it or jam into it. And then find a moment of stillness, right? Just so that you're not distracting yourself. So that you just feel and settle in. Good. When you're ready, you're going to lift your heels. You're going to bend your two knees and pull your hips away from your hands. Look to the hands, take an inhale. And then slowly walk up to the front of the mat. Take as many steps as you need. Lifting your heart when you get there. Inhale, find a nice long spine, a flat back. And then fold forward as you exhale, drop your head. I like to bend my knees here to help the hamstrings release and the low back release and the head just drop heavy. You want to clasp opposite elbows. That's going to give you a little more gravity for the torso and the head. And just root into the heels a bit so you don't topple forward. And then go ahead and release your hands. Let them float back. Lift the shoulders away from the floor. Spin the palms toward the floor, thumbs out, so the collarbones widen. Bend the knees enough so you get that long, straight spine. And then on your inhale, rise up and reach up. Hands sweep forward and up. Big stretch. Hands come to your heart. Prayer pose. Exhale. Okay, good work. Roll the shoulders back and down. Pull the belly button in. Root the feet evenly against the floor if you can. And just take a moment. Find your drishti. Find a gazing point to fix your eyes on so that you're not distracted by all the other things around you. And take a moment just to stand supported and tall on your own 2 feet and feel your breath, feel your body in space. I'd like to also take a moment here and just be grateful that you made it onto your mat, grateful for this time that you're taking for you. And it's really not a selfish practice, right? It's really quite selfless because we can't give as much to others when we're depleted, right? We want to fill our own well so that we feel more compassionate and freer to give. We have more to give. On your inhale, reach up. Fold into your exhale, drop your heavy head. Lift your heart, inhale, flat back. And then plank pose as you exhale, step back. Okay, take a breath when you get there. Just press the floor away. Lift the back of the head, face away from the floor. We'll lower to our bellies, knees, and then chest. Pause when you get on your bellies. Point your toes back. Press into the tops of the feet. And just reach your hands back. Spin the palms down with thumbs out. So again, those shoulders lift. The shoulder heads lift off the floor. And you don't have to come up high, right? This is just all the muscles that strengthen and support your spine. It's like the superhighway of your body. Pretty important area to take care of. So heart is lifting, back of the neck stays long. And then just one more breath. Lift up maybe an inch higher and chin to the mat as you exhale. Hands now in cobra position. So fingers forward, shoulders and elbows back. And on the next inhale, lift up to a baby cobra. It doesn't have to be high. And exhale, release down. The hips stay on the floor. Once more. Inhale, baby cobra. And then lift your hips, curl your toes under, and downward facing dog. Okay. Breathe. So we've already done quite a bit of strengthening and some loosening. And we want to always, in our yoga practice, manage the amount of effort so it's never too much. We want to equal the amount of ease to the amount of effort. And in this way, it's more balanced and healthier. Right? So lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward and inhale. Walk forward as you exhale. Do a little flow. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold in half. With bent knees, arms float back and up. Inhale, reach up, straighten up, stretch up. Hands to the heart, exhale. Pull the belly button in. Let's flow. Inhale, stretch up, reach. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift your heart, lengthening out that spine. Plank pose, exhale, step back. Take an inhale when you get there. Press the floor away from you. Lower safely as you exhale. That might mean knees and then chest. One cobra. Inhale, shoulders back, heart lifts, tops of the feet press. And maybe through bent knees to downward dog as you exhale. All right, so you don't have to do too much to get all the benefits. In fact, you're going to get more benefits if you don't do too much. If you start to honor your boundaries and not push past. Let's just do it one more time. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Inhale, hands press. Walk forward, exhale. Some of you might float forward. Inhale, heart lifts, elongate the spine. And melt forward, exhale, drop your head. And then root and rise. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, reach. Hands to the heart, exhale. What are you grateful for right here, right now? Reach up as you inhale, fill up with some of that goodness. Fold into your exhale, let your head go. Lift the heart, inhale, lengthen out that spine. Plank pose, exhale, step back. Take a breath in, press the floor. Lower safely, exhale, knees, and then chest. Cobra pose, inhale, roll on up. And to the down dog, exhale, hips pull back, heavy head, steady breath. We're going to drop the right knee to the floor under the hip, and we're going to lift the left foot off the floor. And then take your right hand and reach it forward so we're in the spinal balancing shape. And the hand and knee on the mat can almost hug towards one another, and then the hand and foot that are lifted can lengthen away from one another. And then the next time that you exhale, take the lifted knee and elbow beneath you and round your back. And then lengthen them apart. Inhale. And knee and elbow again. Exhale, round your back. Lengthen them apart as you inhale, and then circle your right hand up, bend the back leg, and catch the foot if you can to kick it back. And let that right shoulder roll back. Left hand is pressing. You can gaze over the shoulder, or you can gaze down. Feel what you're feeling. Let it feel nice. Not too much, not too little. And then let go of your foot. Come back to center. Inhale, lengthen. Hand and knee to the mat. Exhale, one cat-cow. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, rounding your back. And back to a flat back and neutral spine. And we'll do the other side. Right foot reaches back and left hand extends forward. Find that length through the lifted limbs. And the hand and knee on the mat almost hug towards each other. So notice the muscles that are waking up and activating here. And then the next time that you exhale, the knee and elbow that are lifted come beneath you. So you broaden into the low back. Extend them apart. Inhale. Tap them towards each other. Exhale. Doesn't matter if they touch. Lengthen them as you inhale. Beautiful. And then left hand lifts, right knee bends, catching the foot if you can, to kick it up and back. So that left shoulder rolls back. You can look over the shoulder. You can look down. Whatever feels best for your neck. Can you keep the breath flowing? Can you stay in the sensations that you're experiencing? And then gently let go of the foot. Back to center as you inhale, lengthen. Hand and knee back to the floor. Exhale, and one more cat-cow. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale to round in. Belly pulls away from the floor. Heavy, heavy head. If you want to sway, you can sway. So good. And then with a neutral spine, we'll step back to the plank pose. Take a breath in. And right to down dog. Exhale. If you wanted to lower and come up through cobra, you can do that as well. Maybe a little wiggle for the hips, wiggle for the head, feel it out. All right, and then from here, we're just dropping both knees back to the floor. We're going to crawl the knees forward. And we're going to roll onto our back and maybe take a little side-to-side rock as you hug your knees to your chest. Yeah. And then we're going to take both feet onto the floor for a moment with bent knees, and we're going to take the hands behind the head. We're going to do a little bit of core work like we did in the beginning here. So I want you to see if your elbows can go out nice and wide, and the backs of the elbows there are on the floor. I guess it's the outside of the elbows, I'm not quite sure. If you need to slide your hips forward, do that so your low back feels a little bit anchored down. And if there's a natural curve there, that's fine too. And then all I want you to do here is lift your right foot off the floor. Okay? So that left foot is pressing the floor forward a little bit, so you drop the low back toward the floor maybe a little more now. And then keeping the right elbow on the floor, just going to draw the left shoulder, not elbow, shoulder toward that right knee and knee to shoulder. Yep. And then release the head, take the right foot back down, and then just lift the left foot off the floor. So right foot can kind of press forward, anchoring the low back. Left elbow is going to stay on the floor. You're just going to lift the right shoulder. Can you keep the elbow wide and draw the knee toward that shoulder? So you're not pulling the elbow to the knee, you're not pulling on the head. And then release back down. Okay, we're going to do it again, a little bit faster this time. So exhale, right knee, left shoulder, right elbow stays on the floor. Inhale, release to center. Good. Exhale, left knee, right shoulder, left elbow stays on the floor. Inhale, center. Exhale, right knee, left shoulder, elbows stay wide. Inhale, center, both feet down. Exhale, left knee, right shoulder. Inhale, center. Keep it going. Exhale, knee to shoulder, elbows stay wide. Inhale, release. Exhale, knee to shoulder, elbows wide. Inhale, release. Once more. So good. And now we're going to take both feet off the floor. And we're going to lift the head off the floor as well. Elbows are going to stay wide. We're going to do a similar thing. It's just a little bit more. So this time, let's start with the right leg going forward. inhale, right shoulder, left knee, exhale. Back to center, inhale, knees bend, feet off the floor. You can rest the head. Exhale, head lifts, left leg forward, inhale. It can be up at a diagonal, turning on your exhale, shoulder to knee. Inhale, center. A little faster. Exhale, extend the leg and turn. Inhale, center. Exhale, extend the opposite leg, turn. Inhale, center. Keep it going without pulling on the head. So can you keep the elbows wide and draw the knee toward the opposite shoulder? Right, and I know it's getting a little intense, building some heat, some core muscles. So if you have the foot higher, it'll be easier. If you take the straight leg lower, it'll be a little bit more intense. So you choose. And go one more each side. And back to center, hug your knees to your chest. Take a little rock side to side. Okay, core work is done. Thank goodness. Feet on the floor. We're going to lift the hips. Stretch out that belly, little bridge pose. If you want to walk your arms closer together underneath you and interlace the fingers, go ahead. Make sure the throat feels good and free. The face muscles relax. And just lifting the hips as high as you like so you feel all this blood flow and oxygen in the lungs and the torso. You're freeing things up. Nice smooth breaths. And then slowly separate your shoulders. If you interlace the hands, roll your spine down nice and easy. And then we'll just cross the right ankle over the left knee, threading the needle. Let the right knee drift forward. You can just take your right hand and press it forward if that's nice. And then hug your left knee toward you, maybe taking the hands behind the hamstring or maybe to the shin. Can you keep the back of the neck long? Can you relax your eyes, your jaw, your mouth? And just feel your breath flowing, noticing how those exhales help you settle and soften. Good, and then let go of the leg. Uncross and recross to the other side. Left ankle bone crosses. You're going to flex the toes to protect the knee. Left knee drifts forward. Maybe just press it forward with the left hand. When you're ready, right foot can come off the floor. Hands can come behind the hamstring or to the shin. And the more you pull that right leg toward you, the more you're going to feel a little release in that outer left hip. Right? And the shoulders and eyes and jaw relax, and the breath flows smoothly and effortlessly. Make sure the teeth aren't touched, top to bottom. The jaw softens. The forehead softens. Watch your mind. It'll take you away from what you're feeling. It'll take you away from this present moment. Just notice that. Don't judge it. And then come right back. It's okay. That's what it does. And then release your right leg. Uncross your left ankle. Take your feet together and let your knees drift apart. So you can either take your arms out into a cactus shape here, reach them back overhead, or I like to place a hand on my heart and a hand on my belly so that I can connect to the feeling of breath in the body. And so feeling the belly expand and rise as you inhale. And drop back, softening into that exhale. And just recommit to those longer, sweeter breaths. And see what you can let go of as you exhale. Noticing that softening, that settling, that relaxing sensation that the exhales bring. And then you're going to pull the belly button toward the floor on the next exhale to bring the knees up together. And when the knees touch, go ahead and wiggle the feet apart. Take your arms into a cactus shape if you like, or out nice and wide. And with the knees touching and the feet wide, let both knees drop over to the left and turn your nose to the right. And just take a moment to feel that. So this is often a hard to access area, this right hip, even quadricep. If you're not feeling anything and you want to feel a little more, the pinky edge of the left foot can go on top of the outer right thigh or knee. And then you'll feel something more. Good. You can take the foot off of the leg and pull the belly in to bring the knees back up. And when the knees touch, take a moment at center. Feet wide, knees together, and then knees to the right, and turn the nose to the left. And determine if this is enough sensation. It might be plenty. If you're not feeling anything or enough, pinky edge of the right foot goes on the outer left leg. Just because you did something on one side doesn't mean you have to do it on the other side, right? Two sides are often different. Stay embodied, stay in sensation, keep the breath long and smooth. So you really make this your time to replenish. Belly pulls in to bring the knees back up. And when the knees come up, take the feet together beneath the knees, draw the knees into the chest. Little rock side to side if you like. And then I'm going to offer you guys an option. You can take the hands on the floor and lift the feet up to the sky. And that might be enough, right? Or if you want to come into shoulder stand, I'm going to give you the option to do shoulder stand. Want to make sure that your neck is safe. This is not always an easy pose for everyone. So hands can press. Feet can come overhead to the floor behind you, and if they don't touch, no worries. You can walk the elbows a little closer, take your hands to your low back for support. And maybe just start by bending your knees and letting the knees drape toward the shoulders on the outsides of the ears. Make sure the neck feels free. If you want, you can straighten the legs, let the toes touch the floor. Interesting, mine aren't touching the floor today, and I do this every day. So every day is a little different. And then lift just one leg up. Let the other leg stay heavy. And you get a little hamstring release on the leg that's heavy. And then take that heavy leg up and drop the opposite leg back down. Just letting it drop to wherever it drops. Gravity will help you here. A little release for that hamstring. Can you keep the neck relaxed? You're supporting the hips with the hands here. And then when you're ready, both feet lift. Yeah. And it's okay. You don't have to lift the hips right over the shoulders. In fact, the hips back is great. Right? So you want the neck free. You don't want to turn your head. If you want to open out the legs nice and wide, that might feel quite nice. You can roll the feet around. If you want to lift the feet back up. So this is actually one of the healthiest poses that we can do if we're not overdoing it. Right? The lymph system gets flushed. It's great for your digestive system. Great for your thyroid. Really healing pose here. Soften the forehead, the eyes. And then when you're ready, come back toward plow pose. That might mean knees bent or toes on the floor. And some people like to take their hands back onto the floor, palms down to roll down. Personally, I like to grab my ankles, separating the upper back and then the middle back to roll down like that. And then when the low back settles down, just give the knees a little hug. Maybe a little side to side rock. Very nice. And then let's open out the arms nice and wide. Keep the feet off the floor and just take both knees over to one side, doesn't matter which. Take a moment, let that top leg get a little heavy. Relax the toes and fingers. Deepen the breath. And use your core muscles to bring the knees back up. Inhale at center. And knees over to the other side. Let the top leg get heavy. The fingers and toes relax. Feel the shape. You don't have to turn your head. Make sure the neck is comfortable. And then using your core muscles again to bring the knees back up to center. When they come up to center, go ahead and wrap your arms around your legs. Lift your nose to your knees. Give yourself a hug. Kind of curl into a little ball here. And just take a nice deep breath in. Hold the breath when you're full. Keep holding it. Maybe sip in a tiny bit more air. And then let it all go. Let your body go. Let your breath go. Lay back and relax. And it's time for Shavasana. If you want to flop your feet open, wiggle your head side to side, slide your shoulder blades down a little bit, whatever you need to do to get comfortable. Let your palms spin up but soften. Let your eyes close and soften back. Separate the top and bottom teeth. And just take a moment to feel your body here. Can you notice any subtle sensations in your body? Maybe the heart beating, the breath flowing. And this is usually a pretty easy time to be grateful, right? You've finished a sweet practice, you're on your back. You're now taking this time to absorb all the goodness of the practice, of this time of not having to do, but simply just being relaxed. And again, replenishing, filling your well. So with gratitude in mind, take in a nice deep breath. And then let go of your breath, let go of any effort in your body, in your breath now, and in your mind, and just simply relax. Still with you, we're just in silence now, and just relaxing. Please take advantage of this time to just be, so that you soak up all of the goodness of this right here, right now. This is for you. Most likely your mind is starting to take you into the future or back into the past. That's what it does, right? And just see if you can come back to this moment, this body, and this breath. Because truly the more present that we can be for what's actually happening, the more we can make of it. The the richer each experience becomes when we're present for it. And so there's no judgment or frustration when your mind takes you away. That's what it does. You just gently, compassionately, and tenderly come back. Take a moment here resting to notice how you feel, how your body feels, how your breath feels, and how your mind feels. You can stay on your back and rest. You can bend your knees if you'd prefer and roll over to one side so that you can press yourself up to a cross-legged seat to seal the practice.